Welcome to the Legion Outriders podcast, a member of the Radio Free Tattooing Network.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
Your source for the latest Legion news, opinion, and analysis.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
John Archiquette.
Will somebody get this big walking carpet out of my way?
Matt Turner.
I'm not afraid.
And Joshua Gray.
You will be.
Hello there, everybody. You're usually used to hearing John's voice here, but John is in Florida. So you've got two Outriders here with you this week.
You've already screwed it up.
I've already screwed it up?
Yeah, you
How
didn't
have I screwed
say,
it up?
Welcome back, Outriders.
Oh, I am not
Josh,
John.
and Matt here.
I will not be beholden to the way he hosts.
But it's
Sorry.
so good.
But it is good.
You're
Welcome
making me
back, Outriders. I'm not John. There you go. Are you happy?
This hate-filled episode brought to you by the letter
Hey
Josh.
now. Hey now.
No,
I am,
yeah.
You got 2 out of 3 Outriders, and as Jack Nicholson said in Mars Attacks, that ain't bad.
That ain't bad.
So, welcome in, guys. Not a whole lot to talk about this week with GenCon, very low-key, not really a whole lot of anything to talk about.
Have you not heard of the electronic internet yet?
The interwebs?
Yes.
Is that what this is?
So I've got some news for you.
Oh, news!
Yeah.
Is it Star Wars news?
we
about
have that
movies
too.
and stuff like. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
okay. But we have lots to talk about today.
Yes,
And
we sure
I bet
do.
John is just hating himself because he's not here.
Oh man.
He's out covering Florida in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
I'm sure just stewing to death. For a cool thing, it's veterans wheelchair games that he's doing coverage for. So
Which
that's
is really
awesome.
neat. Which is really neat.
I don't envy him in that area in that time of year because at least we got the dry heat.
Yeah, there is that.
Except for all the monsoons, but whatever. So, yeah, great show today.
Yeah, so just to give you guys a little look at what we're going to be talking about, normally we've got Star Wars news, and we're going to get right to that. We're going to talk about some of the goings-on at Gen Con that are not in-flight report related. If you're following Twitter or mainly the Facebook Discord the Legion Facebook and Legion Discord, there's some discontent with some stuff going on at Gen Con and the Max Firepower qualifier. So we'll touch a little bit about on that. And then we'll get into the meat of the in-flight report. We'll talk about Wookies and Chewbacca and barricades and more barricades. No.
Really?
No, there's no barricades, unfortunately. I was very disappointed.
Were we lied to?
We were lied to.
Oh, no.
Although props to all of our listeners for keeping that going.
Yes.
Every time we talk about it, everybody's like,
Somebody
barricades.
always has to put up barricades.
Yes. So we'll talk about Wookiees and Chewbacca. Then we'll look a little bit about the new Rebel and Imperial specialists.
Oh, they're so special.
Which are so great. I love it.
Yeah.
And then the big news, which I think is the biggest thing for quality of life of the game going forward, is the announcement of 2 new factions into Star Wars Legion, which is awesome, right?
I'm so excited. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we got to talk about here today. But before we get into the true meat of the show, Matt, why don't you go ahead and...
But first up, the news.
But first, the news. Do your best, Paul Harvey.
Paul Harvey.
I'm Paul Harvey. Good day.
Yeah. Jeez, I haven't heard Paul Harvey.
I know, in forever, right?
Thanks for putting me on this.
I'm sorry.
I haven't been practicing my impressions. I am a man of 2 voices.
And now for the rest of the story.
The rest of the story.
There you go.
Okay, nailed it. All right, so John is a complete liar.
Yeah.
So I think we posted up. He posted up pretty quickly on Facebook. We talked last week how, allegedly Kathleen Kennedy had said, "Hey, no Princess Leia in Episode 9," and then immediately afterwards they're like, "Yeah, Princess Leia at Episode 9." Guess what? We've got all this unreleased footage. She's going to be in the show. They've released the entire cast for everything that's going to be in Episode 9. So all the returning people, I think. Did I hear that Harrison Ford was on there too?
No. Maybe as a
I heard
flashback
that.
or something.
Maybe. We'll see. But they could be just throwing red herrings at us.
Now, the big question I've got about this is, how is this really going to work? How much how much found footage, quote unquote, are you going to be able to work into the movie?
Did you see the Simpsons episode where they were shooting the radioactive man
No.
And they had to finish the rest of the movie in
I
editing.
stopped watching The Simpsons
This
when I was
was
like
back
12.
I mean, this was probably when you were 12. But anyways, yeah, through the magic of editing. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, so like it worked in Rogue One where they put the gold leader and red leader back
dope.
into
That was super
right.
good.
That worked because they used that found footage. They cleaned it up a little
Yeah.
bit, but it was short enough and it didn't really add anything to the story. But
I mean,
like
some nice flavor.
well, yeah, it was nice flavor.
Yeah.
You know, it was good fan service, nice flavor. But when you're talking about Princess Leia, obviously, like narratively in the movie, she's not dead. So how are you going to work little snippets and little bits of found footage in to a complete experience?
Well, you know, if anybody can figure it out, I'm sure it'll be Lucasfilm and all those guys.
J.J. Abrams.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
more lens flare.
I'll expect. It's probably not going to be a whole lot of screen time with her, but I'm not expecting any like, okay, guys, I'm done for the day. I'm going to my trailer. And they wedge that into the story.
Right. Yeah, I'm just curious how much they're going to, because if you look at the reactions online, everybody's like, oh, yay, she's in the movie. Like, she's going to be a major part.
30 seconds or less.
Maybe, right, yeah. So they're still going to have to find some way to wicker her in there where she's on a screen somewhere with this found footage, but
this is your fight now. I'm out.
Right? Yeah.
Tap me out,
I'll
guys.
see ya. Yeah. Bye, guys.
I got to go help the
that's
Eldoron flotilla or whatever.
It'll be great to see how J.J. Abrams works that in there.
Cool.
Anything else?
Yeah, season 4 of Rebels came out a couple days ago, so
Yes,
that's
it
pretty
did.
exciting. So I need to go get that on Blu-ray.
And if you haven't seen it,
Man,
that's the end of that. Oh God!
I really hope that they at least do a book or a comic or something like that based on that.
Well, I think they've got comics already for Kanan. They have Kanan comics.
Yeah, and it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I read the first half dozen or so.
Back when he was Caleb Doom.
Caleb Doom, which folded into season 4.
Right.
But and then the other thing is, as of yesterday, well, August 1st, depending on when you're listening to this, episode 9 is now filming.
Yes, they have started filming.
Billed as the last of the Skywalker, saga.
So sad.
It is. It is kind of sad, but yeah, I'm excited to see where the franchise is going in the future. But filming is underway, so
that's good.
Huzzah!
That's good. And there's already been a couple of set pictures leaked. Apparently, John Boyega as Finn has a new look.
I heard something about a new haircut. So
yeah, he's got a new do.
What's going on?
Yeah. So. It's a very he actually shared it, I think, on either his Instagram or his Twitter, but he shared the picture and it's kind of blurry and out of focus, but yeah, he's definitely undergone a makeover.
Oh, that's nice.
And J.J. Abrams,
we should all treat ourselves, go out, get our nails did, our hair done, all that stuff.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Thank you.
No.
Oh, fine. Well, that's it for news for me.
That's it for news. Yeah. Man, so excited though. So excited. All right, so GenCon's going on right now, which is one of the biggest.
When did they start? They started
yesterday.
Okay, so Wednesday,
depending on when you're listening to this, Wednesday. We record this on Thursday, so yesterday for us is Wednesday. The Legion tournament started today, and some folks were rather surprised with what they were met with when they got to the tables. There's some pictures.
Was it signed autographs of Mark Hamill?
No, it most certainly wasn't.
Oh.
It also wasn't Mark Hamill parading around in a stormtrooper outfit that nobody knew was really Mark Hamill.
Oh, did he do that at Comic-Con or something?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, okay,
yeah, he did that again.
Cool.
But there's some pictures floating around out there on the Legion Facebook and the Legion Discord of the tables that players were met with, and a lot of folks out there are of the opinion that the tables were a little sparse. I shared those pictures with you and John in our little Legion work group. And what do you think about that?
I would like to see and actually hear from the folks that are out at Gen Con whether it's, if it's going to be minimalist terrain, then it obviously is going to affect the game. But were they all like that, or was somebody just kind of like, ooh, there's table 89 that has like the last 5 pieces of terrain? I saw a couple of them looked a little spare. Some of them looked okay, but you got to figure first year running this event, it's going to be tough to rustle up all the terrain you need. You can't just go to the 40K tables and grab all that. like I usually do for my events, but because they're probably being used for 40K events right now.
Sure. And I think that, and I can understand definitely on Fantasy Flight side where, if they're having a tournament, you don't want any branded content from any other, any other, it's like, hey, we're fighting over the Imperial Aquila here, But as a player, I would almost rather see a little bit more terrain on the table that is maybe 40K,
sure.
But something 40K generic. Okay, it's Gothic. There's a million planets.
Yeah, we need Fantasy Flight to announce a 4-sided, 12-inch high barricade of some kind, maybe with windows and a door in it.
Yes.
Some sort of like barricade people can walk in and out of.
The premium priority barricade expansion. There you go. But yeah, I mean,
with satellite dishes.
The only thing that
chimneys.
And I understand that. Yep. First year. It'll be interesting to see how this gets followed up and improved upon at Nova Open, which is in a month, 3 weeks, something like that.
They better get busy then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and is this a Fantasy Flight problem? Or is this an event organizer problem? Because going into another game system,
is it a problem?
Or even is it a problem? Sure. Mm-hmm. I come down on the side that that's not really an optimum game experience.
I like to play with a lot of terrain.
Exactly.
But yeah.
And it's not necessarily that they're sparse. I'm sure it covers the amount of table space that it's about to cover. It's just that it's essentially a bunch of big rocks. Okay. It's not like there's not a lot of area terrain. There's not a lot of trees that are scattered about. It's just big rocks that make fire lanes that you've got to deal with. And that's not. To me, I don't really think that's the kind of experience that it should be.
Fair. I'd love to talk to. Hey, if you're at
sure.
GenCon, got to play on any of those tables, shoot us a message on Facebook, Legion Outriders, and let us know what your experiences are and what the feeling of the community is out there. I'd really like to be there. Maybe
now,
next year.
I will say this. At least it's better than what they had about 3 or 4 months ago at the Grand Tournament, the 40K. There was a 40K Grand Tournament in London, and the event organizer had basically just put hunks of unpainted styrofoam on the table as terrain. So at least it's not that.
I mean, that would work for Star Wars. I mean, we're so used to there being like completely one biome on each planet you go to.
Sure.
You got tree planet, you got ocean planet,
styrofoam planet.
You got styrofoam planet.
Yeah,
man.
it's back in the 70s when it's
all the Big Mac containers from back then ended up there on styrofoam planet, and
yes,
they are a proud people there on styrofoam planet.
Very proud.
Yeah,
they love it. Yeah. See what I did there? They're loving it.
You got one.
I know, man. You're supposed to be the king of the dad jokes here.
No.
All right, so that's enough. It's not really a big thing. We're not looking to drag anybody here. And we're certainly this is our second controversy in a row. We're not looking to turn into Legion TMZ here, folks. So
are we having controversies?
I don't know.
Been sleeping through it,
or are we just trying to microwave up some spicy hot beef here?
You're stirring. You're sowing.
Right. I am. Yeah, that's what I do. I got a big
pot. You're a pot stirrer.
I am a pot stirrer because that kind of thing makes for good conversation.
Just go a little bit wider and start cabbage patching. Everybody loves that.
Anyways, so you can put up with 5 minutes of pot stirring here because you're about to get about 45 minutes of pure unadulterated fanboy here from not only Matt but me, because we are going to go into the meat of the show here. And really, what else is there to talk about except for all of the awesome goodness that came out of the in-flight report?
Talking about Palpatine again, right?
Yeah, Palpatine.
Okay,
yeah. Cool. Or more barricades.
Yes,
barricades. So really 4 announcements that were made yesterday.
Yeah.
Wookies. Chewbacca. Imperial and Rebel specialists, which are aside from a few minor differences between the Imperial and the Rebel side for the leader, we haven't been able to see anything else out of the other 3 units in each of those packs. Mm-hmm. So we can't really say that they're talk about how different they are. So I'm just kind of lumping that into one thing. And then the big news at the end was, and it was just this news, so the rest of this will be speculation on our part.
We love speculating.
I know, right?
John's not here to rein us in.
I know. 2 new factions. So we're going back in time.
Did they confirm that it's going to be 2 factions?
I don't know, but a lot of people that I saw on...
I mean, what else is there?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can't have one without the other, right? Because I'm sure they're going to do another box set, another starter set for it.
I think so, too. I completely agree
But
with
anyways, they announced that they're going back to the Clone Wars. Woo! So we're going to have Separatists and we're going to have Republic factions. They may have only mentioned Separatists, but all of the chatter that I saw online was Separatists and Republic. Awesome. So I don't know if somebody clarified or what, but the word around the campfire is, and everybody's treating this as it's going to be 4 factions. So that's how we're going to treat it too.
Okay.
So
until we get told otherwise,
yeah, right.
Maybe we can steal Mr. Davies away.
Perhaps, yeah, we can
talk about
shoot him another email or something.
Yeah.
About that, we did talk. I did talk to him as I was, following up on the interview that they did with us, and they said they'd love to come back on after Nova. So
okay, fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll get more FFG love.
I'll see if I've got some room in my calendar
here
for
on
that.
the Outriders podcast for the FFG folks.
Dude,
again, they're always welcome.
Yes,
awesome. So, all right.
Do we want to talk about Wookiees or do we want to talk about Chewbacca's, who is also
Chewbacca's
Wookiees?
are Wookiees.
Okay.
There you go. So, all right. So, well, let's go ahead and we'll get into Wookiees
But a
first.
Wookiee is not necessarily a Chewbacca's.
No, it's not.
Okay.
So, we saw with the way that they were releasing information on the Imperial side, we saw Operative, then we saw Commander and Melee Unit announced together, right? So we saw Operative first, and then a couple months later we saw Commander and Operative. They kind of flipped it up, and they gave us another Commander, and now we're getting Melee and the Operative on the Rebel side. And we're going to go ahead and kick this off with talking about the Melee side unit, which are the Wookiee Warriors.
Oh, man. I think we've been talking about this as a potential parody unit for the Royal Imperial Guard. But now that they're actually in front of me, I'm super excited. So they definitely leaned a little bit more towards the melee side. Additionally, I mean, like the Imperial Royal Guard, but instead of having an upgrade card that gives them like the Electro Staff, they've got a guy with a crossbow out there. So that's pretty cool. But the basic card, 75 points. You've got a Trooper upgrade, 2 of the Chevron upgrades, which I always forget the names of.
Right.
And then looks like grenades and
equipment.
Yeah, and equipment.
It's basically the same.
Squinting real hard at these pictures.
It's essentially the exact same points and stat line as far as upgrades as the Crayola squad, the Imperial Royal Guard.
Do they get to have 3 health?
No, they don't.
They sure
unfortunately.
don't. Because...
But that's why it was very clear to differentiate between point cost and stat line as far as upgrades, because there are some rather different, rather striking differences on the right hand side of the card. You're looking at a base unit of 3, just like the Imperial Royal Guard. White die save, which is a T-shirt basically, but 3 health, so they're very durable as far as health points.
Yeah.
And then a courage value of 2. However, they have 1 surge, and that is a surge to hit.
Yeah.
Which so you're really going to feel that on the defensive dice. They basically have the same kind, essentially the same durability as the Rebel Troopers, where it's white dice. Because they do have the defensive surge. Yeah. So this is probably one of the least durable units.
Except for that whole 9 health points at 75 points. But yeah, the 2 courage value, the surging, they're a move 2, which is plenty good. At least I couldn't imagine them going 3, but still.
Right. Yeah, that'd be awfully fast.
Fun. They've got a range pistol, which I really like the look of the one on the sergeant for this unit. It looks really super cool. But range 1 to 2 with 1 black, 1 white, and then their Rick blades, Rick Rollin blades, 2 black when they get into melee.
Yeah, so. and 2 black with a surge to hit isn't bad.
Yeah.
That's a 5 out of 8 chance of rolling damage with that, which isn't it. I don't have the efficiency charts and things like that right in front of me, but when you contrast that with the Imperial Royal Guard, they're rolling a red and a black, but they have no surges at all.
Yeah.
So you're looking on one die, it's 6 out of 8, and on the other die, it's 4 out of 8. So I don't know if 5 out of 8 constantly is better than 6 and 4 with no other modifications.
We'll let the number crunchers figure
that
out.
Yeah, we'll let all the number crunchers figure that out.
But the special rules on the card, though, are super exciting.
Really good.
We start out with charge, so that's great. You want that on a melee unit. It's going to move into combat and then get to swing.
Which is no different than the Royal Guards. The Royal Guards have charge also.
Yeah. Expert Climber, which allows them to ignore the damage or rolls for making clamber. So that's cool. They don't fall on their heads and die. Indomitable. This is pretty new. And basically, so they've got a courage value of 2, but Indomitable allows them to roll red dice to see if they can get rid of their suppression. So that's pretty cool.
And that basically turns it into a 4 out of 6 chance to remove.
Yeah. You got a 50-50 on those
right.
red. No, more than 50-50.
No, it's more than 50.
It's
gosh,
7 out of 8. Or no, defense dice. Sorry,
yes, defense dice.
So gosh, I'm all flustered.
Right.
Jeez. Okay, and then we've got
Unhindered, which basically they're not slowed down by area terrain or anything like that.
That's cool.
Which with area terrain, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Because I believe the Imperial Royal Guard do not have that, so they will be slowed down.
I think that fits well with the Expert Climber.
Sure.
So they can
they're very
they parkour across
agile,
the battlefield.
Right. Yeah. Now, the thing that kind of surprised me is where the Imperial Royal Guard has the option to add a trooper that is that buffs the melee. You're adding the Electro Staff, which gives you immune to pierce, and basically is a "Hey Jedi's, get away from me" kind of thing. The Wookiees get a Bowcaster because their range damage is pretty light.
Yeah.
They're throwing. For the base squad, they're throwing 6 dice, but it's a black and a white with surge. So the Bowcaster Wookiee that you can add, range 1 to 3, 1 red, 1 white, but then impact 1 and pierce 1.
Yeah.
So that gives them basically makes them on par with kind of a DLT to be able to damage armor.
Yeah.
As far as how much damage you can put through.
It's a little bit more point-wise, but getting the pierce is nice. And then this is, kind of stacking onto a roll. They're obviously geared towards melee, but now you're able to reach out and touch people on the way across the board if you want to, or if you need to hold an objective and want to, project some force. I really like it. Yeah,
this is really going to be a really great upgrade. And I'm jealous. I mean, I'm looking at this and... if you play it right and you can smash them into melee first before they get shot at too much, they're going to do a lot of damage. This is going to be a unit that is just, it's going to be a butt kicker, man.
And what does the Empire do? They go and throw them in spice mines and stuff. Where they
just
slave away, not being awesome on the battlefield.
That go do 2 black dice of melee damage to that cavern wall with the spice in it.
Yeah.
Wah, 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 wah.
But anything else in there? I think we can see a little bit of the cards out there.
Yeah,
but,
and
they're tough.
those the I think it's tenacity, and then the frag grenades and the recon. So you got the recon gear there. That allows you to put Scout 1, basically. So you can do a Speed 1 move when you deploy, which is going to help, because you're going to want to do stuff to get them up into combat as quickly as possible.
Absolutely.
Because, white dice with no surge, that's not fun. That's a bad day right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we haven't really seen a ton of those cards yet, especially frag grenades, anything like that. But... yeah, and with the point cost there, 35 points it looks like for the Bowcaster Wookiee. I'm really wondering.
So we're looking at 110 right there.
Yeah, that's 110, and that's naked. That's with no other upgrades.
Yeah.
So this is a unit unlike the the Imperial Royal Guard. They're 100. But they look like with some of the stuff that they synergize with Palpatine that you might be able to run them a little bit skinnier.
Okay.
So we'll see.
It'll be interesting to see what the tenacity and all that.
Right.
Do we actually see that on the Chewbacca one?
I don't think
we do.
Well,
actually,
do we?
It is one of the upgrades spoiled there, so it looks like it'll be coming with the Wookiee Warriors as well. And let me flip over there. Gosh, it's so hard.
It's so hard to read some of these cards.
Just if you're gonna, guys, please spare my poor old eyes.
Right. Well, they don't want to tell you what's going to be in
I
it.
mean, why couldn't they?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, people are going to figure it out. So,
Right.
why be so mysterious? I'll keep trying on it.
Yeah,
but,
we'll take a
Is
look
there
at
anything else that you want to cover on these guys?
No, as far as the Wookiee Warriors, I mean, the Wookiee Warriors, I think, are pretty straightforward. As far as that unit goes, I mean, it's a melee unit, and they do a lot of the same things that the Imperial Royal Guard do. They're a bit more mobile, with Expert Climber and Unhindered. But other than that, I mean, it's just going to be really interesting to see how quickly they die, and how people are going to be able to maneuver them across the battlefield to get them into melee before they get shot down because of the saves. So that's basically all I got to say about them.
Well, let's go on to their big brother then.
Another Wookiee.
Yeah.
What a Wookiee. Chewbacca. Oh, man.
Once they spoiled operatives, and they said Han was on the way. I think
Right.
everybody was
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, okay, Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Yeah, gee. Who do we have left as the only named character from the original trilogy on the Rebels that you see in every movie that would make sense to be an operative, right? Chewbacca. That's who it's going to be. And Chewie, man, we'll get into the card here in a second. But the way that Chewbacca is going to synergize with Leia and Han is borderline unfair, in my opinion.
I think it's super fair.
Yeah,
I think
you
it's
do
awesome.
too, because you love yourself some Rebels.
I
But,
do.
For
And my
those of us
Imperials. I love them both.
that don't own game stores and then have people paint our stuff for us and can only play one faction.
Enjoy your reliable paycheck, sucker.
Yeah. All right, so let's take a look at Chewbacca. 80 points is what I think I'm reading here on the card. In Rage 4, so once he gets to 4 hit points, his courage value becomes a dash.
You go bonkers.
Yeah, he goes nutter, just like Vader does. Vader is immune to suppression or immune to rally and all that stuff. Immune to panic.
Yeah.
Sorry. Expert Climber as well, because of course.
Makes sense.
Guardian 3, which is, that makes him a big tanky meat shield, basically. So you'll be able to, to soak damage away from Han and Leia.
Yeah.
And you're making the pointy finger at me, so go ahead.
I was going to say, do you know what that synergizes well with?
What's that?
Turns out the card that we couldn't read.
Tenacity?
The Tenacity card. So 4-point upgrade card. So Wookiees, Royal Guards, Boba, and Chewie. Mm-hmm. While performing a melee attack, if you are wounded or if any mini from your unit has been defeated, add 1 red attack die to your attack pool.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
okay.
For 4 points.
That's pretty good then.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that. I like that too. So let's take a look at his stat line here. He's wearing the same T-shirt that his Wookiee Warriors are wearing.
Armor's for suckers.
Yeah, armor's for suckers.
Just have more hit points.
9 health, which is the highest hit point total for a character unit I think that we've seen in the game so far, and a courage value of 2, which I guess if he's healthy, you can panic him early and try to anyways, and then a surge to crit. No surge for defense, so again that's not very fun. And speed 2. Mm-hmm. Looking at the weapons, you're in melee. It's 4 red dice. Ouch.
Wow.
Ouch.
Up to 5 if he is
up to 5 with tenacity.
Or tenacity, yeah.
And then the bowcaster 1 to 3, 2 red, 2 white, impact 1, and pierce 1, which is not bad.
That is not bad at all.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Kind of on par with what you're looking at a lot of the time with Boba Fett. Mm-hmm. Boba Fett has 2 weapons that will do between the rocket launcher, the wrist rocket, which is 1 to 2, and then the EE3. I think they do a total of 4 black dice. I don't have the card in front of me, and I haven't committed it to memory, so I don't really know. But he does have Arsenal 2, so he can fire both of those in one round if he meets the range requirement for Boba Fett. I mean that's still a pretty potent attack.
What do we say? 100 points for him?
For Chewbacca?
For Chewie?
I think it's 80.
Is it 80?
It's either 80 or 90. I can't read the page. But it's pretty cheap.
It's again so hard to read these.
Yeah. It's out there. There are higher res pictures. It's on Tabletop Admiral.
Yeah, I'm actually
also.
pulling it up right now. Hey, thanks,
So
Tabletop Admiral.
the thing that and I
They've
left
got him listed at 100.
At 100.
So
Okay.
I'm assuming their eyes work better than mine.
I'm guessing then. Okay. So looking at looping back to his keywords,
Yeah.
and I looped away from them for a reason. Teammate Han Solo, which is
So cool.
Which is kind of like
Yeah.
the Palpatine thing, where he can ignore. Well, for Palpatine, he can ignore the rank requirements of an entourage unit of Imperial Guards.
So you can.
This goes way past
So you
that.
can have a Palpatine.
Palpatine, right? Palpatine works makes the dream work.
That's it. The Palpa Dream work.
There
yes.
you go. All right. So the upshot here of teamwork with Han Solo is if he's in range 1 to 2 of Han Solo, if either one of them gets an aim or a dodge token, and that's pretty important wording wise because it's gain a token. It's not performs an action.
Fair. That's that is a very big part.
The other one gets the same token of the same type. So here's where the crazy synergy comes in. Okay? Especially with if you have Chewbacca with the Hunter card, right?
Yeah.
The Hunter upgrade is after you roll dice, attack dice, before you do all of your conversions, you can gain an aim token if the target is already wounded, right?
Okay.
Okay. And I don't know. I don't know. I can't read it exactly if it's wound markers or if it's like a trooper unit that has taken damage. So again, I apologize there. But
pull that up while you're chatting.
So if Chewie is say attacking General Veers, okay, let's rewind this. Okay, so Leia has her take cover ability, right? That allows you to hand out dodge tokens. So Leia activates first, is in range 1 of Chewie. Drops a dodge token on Chewie, which now, because of teamwork, assuming Han Solo's within range 1 to 2, drops 1 on Han Solo. Leia does her stuff. Chewie goes and fires at a character who has a damage token, right? Mm-hmm. Well, now there's another token for Han, and this time a name token.
Yeah.
So now, assuming he hasn't been shot at, before Han Solo even activates, he's sitting there with a dodge and a name token.
I love it.
No, I
do.
It's
This
action
is what I wanna
economy
see. Yeah.
is ballistic.
And I think that's
this.
what you got to see, though, because you've basically dedicated 40% of your list points to these 3 characters.
Okay.
So they're going to have to do some pretty exceptional gymnastics. And I think that is so cool for Rebel flavor. You know, seeing 6 unit of troopers running across the board, that's cool.
Yeah.
But the Rebellion is all about the characters for me. I mean, hey, play the game the way you want to play it. But I'm very excited for this kind of list.
Thematic, sure.
Yeah.
But when you stop to think that, you know, a tooled up Vader is also close to a third of your points for a list, and you look at what you get out of that as far as what it can do to the rest of your army and how much of a force multiplier those points are to the remaining points on your force. Man, I don't know.
Well, you're losing your multiplier value because basically Leia is becoming a dedicated dodge bot for, you know,
well, that's what she is anyways.
Yeah, Han, but so
I mean, whether it's Rebel troopers, and let's not leave Rebel troopers out of the equation.
Sure.
Because okay, Leia, if she goes and gives one of those dodge tokens to Chewie and the other one to a Rebel trooper, now you've got a Rebel trooper that might be up on the front line that is now auto renewing dodge tokens every time they get attacked.
Sure.
It's really
so
tilted.
She doesn't get one there.
Well, she doesn't.
Han and Chewie get one.
Sure,
and then the Rebel troopers.
But then you can put esteemed leader on Leia, and now you get Guardian for other trooper units.
Or you've already got Chewbacca there. So.
Or you've got you know, the way that you can both use Leia as a buff bot to start chaining stuff up, and then also mitigate damage to those 3 characters through use of other abilities. You know, Han's luck, where he gets to reroll dodge dice. It's not, there isn't an equivalent, and I'm not saying everything has to be perfectly balanced.
Red armor dice is the equivalent there.
Okay.
You don't need to come up with fancy tricks and synergies when you're just rolling hard reds.
But you know what? I mean, and I'm going to go back to an X-Wing thing here, because that's what I know. But if you have a ship that rolls 4 red attack dice once against ships that are completely tokened up, you're not cracking that.
Sure.
Right?
Okay.
So, once you start, it's an action economy game. The more things you can do with less actions, there isn't an equivalent action economy on any combination, really, of Imperial troops. Look at, okay, so just look at Veers versus Leia.
I mean, sure.
And this is the big big complaint that I had at Veers against Leia when they first announced the Leia expansion.
Okay.
It's the difference between an aim token that I can use once, and yes, I'm going to use the aim token, right?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
But
well, I mean, you only need to use the aim token once because you can't shoot twice.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right. It doesn't auto renew. There's nothing there that it's a one shot thing versus a unit that rolls white defense dice, sure, with a surge and a dodge token that auto renews.
Okay. A unit.
Well, 2 units with Leia.
But you're using one for your heroes now.
Sure. But I'm just talking. But if you look at that, it's the ability to continuously soak away damage. If that trooper unit gets shot at 6 times, it can dodge 6 damage. I can only use that aim token.
Dude, just roll crits. You'll be fine.
I can only use that aim token to reroll at most 4 dice. If I put scopes on a stormtrooper. But the point difference there is only 10 points between the 2 commanders for inherent abilities that one you can get a lot more use out of, and now chains a lot more. Because okay, Veers, I put an aim token on Vader. Great. Okay.
I mean, I think aim token on Vader is pretty sweet.
Okay, but
anyways,
you see where I'm going.
Yeah, I think people are going to need to get this out on the table, get a bunch of reps in. But I'm excited for this style of play with maybe having more elite rebel troops versus, the hordes of the Imperials. It is very thematic and fluffy and fun and all that from my point of view. So I'm excited to see what people can do with it.
Right.
Maybe it won't become the list. Maybe it's just too few hit points out on the table. Despite how many different layers of protection you can put on there, but should be cool. Do you want to know the card for Hunter now?
Yes, go for it.
Okay, so Hunter, 6 points. While attacking a wounded trooper unit during the roll attack dice step, you may gain 1 aim token.
Right.
So there you go.
And I don't know if a wounded trooper unit counts as a squad that has had guys killed.
I would assume.
Or just something with wound tokens on it, right?
Now, maybe I wouldn't assume.
Talking about, you mentioned there's your army.
Yeah.
As far, that's a third of your army.
Yeah.
Just noodling around with Tabletop Admiral today.
Yeah.
With the if you run Han, Chewie, and Leia completely unupgraded, right?
Yes.
Which does take away a little bit of that action economy.
How many points are we looking at there? So it's 1,
yeah.
20.
You can still run 6 Rebel Trooper units with a Z6 and a naked ATRT and have about 30 points left over to play around with. That gives you, everybody's saying now activations are king, right?
For now.
If activations are king, that still gives you 10 activations.
Cool. But no Wookiee warrior, so what are you doing, man? You're just wasting all of your chances to be awesome.
Right. And no commandos,
commandos,
and no 1.4 cannon, and no satellite dish, and no direct TV.
So yeah, Leia, Han, and Chewie all in one list, completely naked, 310 points,
which isn't bad.
No.
When you consider that Veers and Vader completely naked is essentially the same amount.
I don't want to think about them completely naked.
Yeah.
Come on, Josh.
Now I know why Veers looked so shocked when he went into Darth Vader's little safe space there. Anyways, but the synergy that you get out of those 3 characters for 300 points is markedly different than the synergy if you cart Vader and Veers up the board together.
Well, I think that's just a difference in design approach there because they are not the plucky rebels that are working together to get one over on the Intergalactic Empire. I'm Dark Lord of the Sith. I'm going to lightsaber you.
Sure. I guess.
And then, cool. I got troops, guys. Let's send an ATST and call it a day. Be back for medals and tea at noon.
Fair enough. So anyways, folks, there's your look into the Wookiee Warriors and Chewbacca. So we're going to take a break here.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah.
We're not done. So we're going to take a break here real quick. And when we come back, we will talk about the new Imperial and Rebel Specialists pack.
Man.
And we'll talk about the new factions, or what we think the new factions will be. Anyways, we'll be right back, folks. Keep it here.
Tune in every Wednesday to Radio Free Tatooine, a Star Wars podcast that's better than some and worse than others. Take a trip to a water cooler far, far away as we bring some casual, fun conversation into the Star Wars podcasting community. Hosted by me, Sean, my sister Amy, and John. Radio Free Tatooine. We may not know what we're talking about, but we sure know how to record it. For more, visit RadioFreeTatooine.com, a proud member of the Radio Free Tatooine Podcast Network.
You're listening to the Legion Outriders podcast, a member of the Radio Free Tatooine Network, recorded on location at Power 9 Games. Whether you're looking for the latest releases from Legion, X-Wing, 40K, Magic, or any of our other extensive inventory of board and card games, head to power9games.com and use coupon code OUTRIDER10 to get 10% off your order. Plus, shipping is free on orders over $100. Now, back to the Outriders.
And we're back. Hey there, folks. You're listening to the Legion Outriders. Josh and Matt with you this week. John is down in sunny Florida doing work.
Muggy Florida.
Yeah, muggy Florida. So you're stuck with just the two of us. Sorry about that. And, you could tell I'm not used to hosting the show because I forgot something.
We forgot something?
I forgot something.
We're a team here.
We're a team. Okay.
So we forgot.
You forgot something.
But it's your fault. So. Command card.
Yeah, the command card for
Yeah.
Chewie. Yeah. How did I even forget that? Oh my God.
Because it's so cool.
I got so bitter about what toys I don't get to play with.
Oh, that jealousy.
So, the one command card that we can see for Chewbacca, 3-pip card. You can only issue orders to Chewie and Han Solo. The title of the card is Notorious Scoundrels.
Love it.
And basically, it allows you to look in your hand for a discard, or not in your hand, but look in your discard pile for any discarded Han Solo card, like Sorry About the Mess, or the other one that lets you circumvent the orders.
Han choose first.
Yeah, and put it back in your hand.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah. Great. More synergy.
I love it.
Wonderful.
I love
All
it.
right.
Next.
I'm done talking about this
Cool.
walking carpet.
John's not even here, man.
Oh,
we haven't.
Whoa.
Oh.
Wow.
I mean, he's the first one to call himself a Wookiee.
Yeah. But it's,
And
you know.
why are you saying it like it's a bad thing? Okay, Wookiees are awesome. What's wrong with you?
I don't think that's the way you meant it, though.
Oh,
I think you were calling him rather. Oh, were you calling him rather hirsute?
Her suit.
Hirsute?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not good with
mean,
words.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. So some of the other big things announced at Gen Con was something that we had kind of speculated about 4 or 5 weeks back.
Well, and then as it was pointed out, they actually have rules.
Yeah, they actually have rules for all that stuff in there. So, why do you got to short circuit me, making us out to be like visionaries and savants here? Come on, man. Why you got to be like that?
You're a certain kind of savant. I'll give you that.
I like to count toothpicks. Anyways,
very well.
So we got the specialist pack.
Yeah.
Which I am super stoked about.
I'm really shocked and very pleased that it is coming out. I mean, that it's even on the horizon. It's still probably months and months away, but still,
I think
knowing that it's coming is.
I think it's something the game needed.
Yes,
very badly.
That was the segment we were doing. Is, what do we think the game needs? Yeah.
To add a lot of flavor to the game. Mm-hmm. You know, because like you said, oh look, 6Z6 rebels, meh.
Yeah.
Right. Because trooper squads are trooper squads, right? You have Z6 squads, DLT-19 squads, Flame Trooper squads, and that's it. Scattergun squads. Mm-hmm. You know, and not really a whole lot of variation there. Rebel troopers, are you going to get a Z6 squad or are you going to get a naked squad, you know, with 4 guys? That's it. The Imperial Specialists comes with 4 units. Yep. It comes with an astromech. It comes with a generic commander. It comes with a medical unit. And it comes with some sort of operative-looking thing. Not really sure how to describe that.
The
because
comm officer guy from the Death Star?
Yeah, like a comm officer.
Yeah.
Like the Imperial one comes with a Death Star trooper, which is the dudes with the funky big dark helmet looking hats. But it doesn't. There's no hints in there as to what they do.
I'm glad they went with the shifty-eyed R4 astromech for the Imperials.
Yes.
A mouse droid might have been a little bit too small.
Meh.
Yeah, and then people would be doing that all the time as well.
Yeah, because we don't get enough trooper. Yeah, because we don't get enough of that.
No.
I'm just waiting for a gonk droid to get in there.
Oh, well, I mean, that's the we actually need to play that. That's one of the operations that came out as the tug of war gonk droid.
Gonk.
I think I've got one of those in the old Star Wars, the pre-painted ones they had.
Oh, the other tabletop game. Yeah. Which is the Coast, right?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
So, anyways, going back to this unit, the only cards that you can see, and the specialist pack visually is exactly the same for Rebels and Imperials.
We're not so different, you and I.
Exactly. The generic commander for the Imperials is basically a budget Veers, and the generic commander for the Rebels is essentially a budget Leia.
It's a Lady Veers.
Yeah, it's a Lady Veers.
And then for people that played Imperial Assault, it's Gideon, who was
one of your Corset
heroes.
guys, right?
Corset guy.
So looking at the Imperial officer stat line, white defense die, surge to hit and dodge, 4 health, 2 morale, speed 2, spotter 1, which is half of what Veers is because he's spotter
Veers.
2.
Yep.
Inspire 1, which is exactly the same as Veers. Sharpshooter 1, same as Veers. One of the little rank board upgrades.
Mm-hmm.
And then it looks like an equipment upgrade.
Yep. 50 points.
Black melee die.
Yeah.
And a range 1 to 2, 1 black, 1 white die. The Rebel is exactly the same, except instead of the spotter, it's take cover, which is the Leia ability. Otherwise, everything else on the stat line is exactly the same as the Imperial one. So you're getting a generic commander with just a little bit of flavor for the individual factions.
I need a moment. I got to come clean.
Okay.
And I know, John, you're not listening. But, John, I'm going to pretend you're listening. I apologize. Way back on episode 1, we were talking about things at this game. We were speculating before it had even come out. And he was like, I want an unnamed officer, that I can, project myself onto and have all these weird fantasies about. And I said, it's never going to happen.
You know what? And I got to take up for John here in his absence.
Yeah.
Because even the devs had said, at that early point, there will never be a generic commander in this game.
Did they?
This is a hero-centric game.
Yeah, I mean,
there will not be generic
galaxy of heroes,
commanders. We want you playing characters.
Yeah.
We don't want you making up your own characters. We want you playing. And they didn't necessarily say we don't want you doing that.
Yeah.
But
it's unlikely. But
they said from the jump that you weren't going to see generic commanders to kind of make it your own. And I think they've made the generic commander generic enough that you're not going to want to use that as your only commander
I'm still
option.
probably taking Veers most of the time.
Yeah. For 40 more points, I'm going to take at least Veers.
Yeah.
And you lose too much with Han, Leia, and Chewie, or even Luke and Leia, or Luke and Han.
Yeah.
You lose too much to not have just Gideon bumping around out there as your sole commander. So functionally, they're exactly the same.
Okay.
The thing
I'm confused though. I also see an upgrade card that says Imperial Officer.
Yes.
What's going on there?
And this is where I think the Imperial Officer shines in this expansion pack, because you also have the opportunity with the officer to take that officer and assign him directly to one of your squads. Now,
so it's not your commander anymore.
He's not your commander.
Yeah.
He's more of a sergeant for that unit.
That's so cool.
What it allows you to do, it doesn't take up your heavy weapon slot, which is awesome. Because if you're rolling Imperials, if you're rolling Imperials, you still have your DLT-19 in that squad. But what it does for the Imperials is it raises the courage value of that squad by 1.
Okay.
So now that trooper squad becomes a your Stormtrooper squad becomes a morale of 2 instead of a morale of 1. But it also gives you Inspire 1, which allows you to remove after your rally step, you can remove suppression from another unit at range 1.
So it doesn't even have to be their same unit?
I don't think so.
Again, the squiggly small text.
Yeah, squiggly small text.
But 20 points too for
yep,
that.
It's the same as Inspire 1.
Oh, nice.
So you gain Inspire 1 after your rally step, remove up to 1 suppression token from another friendly unit at range 1 to 2. Which is awesome.
Yeah. No, do you know what I envision here? Like those 1 or 2 units that are just way off in the flank. They may be kind of infiltrated in later in the game if that's your game mode for this one. And then that officer is keeping those units going, keeping suppression low if at all possible, or at least increasing their courage stat to 2 so they can keep going towards the objective if they're taking wounds. I dig it so hard.
Yeah. And, we don't see...
rapid reinforcements. That's
right.
What it was. Yeah.
For the Rebel, the card is functionally the same. So it's Inspire 1 and raise your morale by 1 for 20 points, and also that unit that mini now becomes your unit leader.
Yes. No. That's important. But,
which is kind of that's quite a bit to add for 20 points to a Stormtrooper squad. It doesn't show what you are if you're adding that mini, it doesn't. I think it's going to keep the gun that's on the card.
I would think so, because there aren't any stats on that upgrade
right.
card, that it's just going to be based off of your whatever units it's attached to. But I'm sure we'll get some guidance here on that.
One way or another.
Yeah.
I would trend the other way, that it keeps the pistol instead of.
That would make sense too to me.
That would make sense.
But before it, just busts out an E11 or whatever
right.
it is, but that's not what the unit is holding.
Now, the other interesting thing about this is, like, when you add a DLT-19 at the top of the card, it says Stormtrooper only. When you add a Flame Trooper, it says Flame Trooper only, or it says Snow Trooper only.
Yeah.
This just says Imperial only. So this can be added to any trooper unit that has a personnel upgrade slot.
Yeah, I'm buying multiple sets.
Yeah,
of all these guys.
Yeah, and that's just the officer.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we can't really see anything about any of the other cards.
I think I'm more excited to see their expose article. The
right.
sneak peek. More than just about any of the other ones now.
So speculation time here.
Let's do it.
We can't see any of the text, at least on the Imperial one. We can't see any of the text for the Death Star Trooper. So I have no idea what he does. Not a clue. For the FX7 droid, which is a medical droid, it says free action, and then it says TR in bold. So I'm going to guess, and it's talking about wounds underneath that. So I'm guessing that that's going to be some sort of medical
thing.
It
transfers wounds to
transfers
itself
wounds,
or something, or to
heals
a card,
guys,
or,
something like that.
I wonder how that would work with like combat stims.
Yeah, I don't know. That's going to be an interesting interaction. And then for the R4, it's a free action, and then it says RE, and then looks like a P. So it's probably going to be something that you can cart around behind your ATSTs and repair them, or any other vehicles.
Oh, man. Oh, man. So
right?
My Rebel speeders are suddenly starting to warm up the engines in the hangar.
Yeah, if you can keep up with them.
Yeah, I mean, they've got like
you
little
would literally
jetpacks
have
like
to
R2-D2,
do
right?
You would literally have to do a pit stop, right? Yeah. And again, with the so on the Rebel side, it comes with an R5 astromech. Again, you can only see the same amount of the card. It comes with a 2-1B droid, which is the medical droid, and then whatever that's supposed to be for the Rebels, whether that's a commando or a radio trooper, or whatever that is. I don't know what that is. All right. Now, the other thing that comes with this pack, because you have a generic commander, so you have generic command cards.
Dude.
Now, here's the thing that I love about this.
Yeah, you pointed this out to me, and I did not see it. So
these are not specific to the generic commander.
No.
So
they say
there's no
Rebel
picture
only
there.
Or Imperial
it's just,
only.
The top of these cards look just like your ambush and push and assault cards. So that means...
Do I need to take ambush and push and all those cards now?
It doesn't look like it. So now, I mean, you can only take 2 1-pip cards. So if you take Veers, you can take Veers' 3 cards, and then the 3 cards that come out of these come out of these packs. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it. The Rebel card is significantly better than the Imperial card that we can
What's
see.
that one say? I can't even read it.
They're both 1-pip cards.
Yep.
So for the Rebel card, it's Sabotage Communications, and basically however many activations your opponent got for the card that they played, they get 1 less.
Oh, so when
Down
they're
to a
placing
minimum
orders
of 1.
out, they reduce it by 1?
Right.
Okay, so if they play the ambush, then it's not going to deal you anything good.
Because it's down to a minimum
Right.
of 1.
Okay.
But if you play
Veers and 2 vehicles.
Veers and 2 vehicles, well, you get 2 vehicles and no Veers, or Veers and 1 vehicle.
That's
yeah.
pretty cool. So what's the Imperial one that?
The Imperial one is just straight garbage, and that's exactly where it's going to go when I unbox it.
Jeez, wow! Even over ambush, even though it's got a maybe.
Yes, even over ambush.
So for actually, yeah, this one I kind of dig it. So you can look at 2 command cards from their hand. Yeah,
and that's it. But you don't discard them or anything. You just look at them.
I mean, so
oh great,
you got some idea of what they're doing now that you're able to change up your command hands because we got options.
That's true. But if I'm taking Han and if I'm taking Han, Chewie, Leia. Mm-hmm. Okay,
yeah.
I can make a pretty educated guess what the cards that are in there are going to be.
Can you?
Yeah, I think you can.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a very
Orbital
situational card.
bombardment.
Yeah, right. No Time for Sorrows.
Yeah.
The Sorry About the Mess. It's.
That's cool.
All that stuff.
I just like that it's the exact same effect with almost the exact same art for Star Wars Destiny with the probe droid. It's like, look at 2 cards.
You're getting lazy, FFG.
Oh, come on.
You're getting lazy.
A good idea.
Yeah, I know. I'm just dogging
It's
you.
probing. It probes people.
Yeah. Probing.
You're into that.
Nah. Whoa. Yeah. Hey, it is Vegas.
Am I projecting again?
It is Vegas.
Okay, sorry.
So, you got enough money, you can find anything here.
The alien jerky farm is not too far away from me.
Right. So, anyways, that's what we've got for the specialist pack. It's really the same thing as of right now. It's pretty much the same thing for either faction. Yeah. So, but what that's going to add to your ability to tailor your army,
a galaxy of possibilities,
to make generic trooper units a little bit more specialized. Adding an officer to make them better able to operate outside of that command bubble.
Yeah.
Because you panic real quick.
Yeah. With those, the 1 courage stats.
Yeah,
on those
1
guys
courage
like,
outside.
Ugh.
Yeah, 1 courage
2, and I get to inspire.
Yeah.
Sign
right?
me up.
Yeah. So that's pretty good. That's really for me right now. That's the winner from GenCon. From yesterday, from the in-flight report, that's the big winner.
I like
for me.
Wookiees, but these specialists
I like this a lot better.
Are going to be super good.
Just as far as a quality of life thing for the game.
No, everybody's going to be playing specialists. Not everybody's going to be playing Wookiees or Chewies or whatever.
Right.
But
you still got to have
almost
3
everybody's
going to
find some use for this pack that's coming out, and I'm super happy for it.
You got to have 3 core units on the board. You don't have to have Wookiees on the board.
That's fair.
Right?
I mean, you should have Wookiees on the board.
Well, yeah. Well, you shouldn't.
I should.
All right. So that's the specialist. We fanboyed and fawned over those enough. And let's get to the reason why we're really here. New factions.
I almost forgot. I was so focused on astromech droids.
It's like if yesterday wasn't August 1st, it would literally be Christmas in July.
It is
for Legion players.
It's been some ridiculously good news coming out of Fantasy Flight, and I couldn't be happier.
Poor Imperial Assault players. Not IA, Armada.
All 3
poor,
of you guys.
Poor Armada players.
Oh,
I feel so bad for you guys.
All 10 of you. No, wait, no.
Well, yeah, and we'll put a pin in that for about 10 minutes. So new factions.
Yeah.
We announced yesterday, and we're going to just run with it, that we're getting Separatists and we're getting the Republic.
Yeah.
Initial thoughts.
Yay. I am so happy for this. Not only are we getting new factions, which is going to diversify the playfield for Legion and X-Wing, because they announced that Clone Wars era is going for Legion and X-Wing. It blows my mind that it's coming out within a year of the game launch.
Game needed it.
Well,
game needed it.
I completely agree. I was so expecting and here's coming Melanie. There you go. There's your 3 factions. Go color and have fun.
I still think we'll see.
Cool.
Because honestly,
but it'll be a 5th faction instead of.
I think the sweet spot for the game is 5. I really do. I don't want to see the game turn into 40K where there's 80 factions, right?
I mean, 14 or so, but I would love to.
I think there's 20. Maybe it's 16. I don't know. But you have the knowledge you have to have of everything that can potentially be on the board in 40K is literally encyclopedic. Like,
I love options though.
Yeah, options are great. Okay? You're getting specialists. What more do you want? There's your options.
Don't listen to Josh Fantasy Flight. You keep making those factions. We're going to have Mandalorians and Tuskens and Gungans.
I don't want to have spend 5 hours in 17 source books to know if I'm going to a tournament what I might be facing.
But Josh, you don't have to. It's an open information game, and literally all the cards have information on them for you to read through.
I get that, but you still need the theory craft and you still need to build.
That's fair.
Anyways, 5 I think is the sweet spot. Maybe 6.
I'll meet you halfway at like 10. How about that?
Fine. I don't think the Force Awakens timeline, that trilogy, is fleshed out enough to put factions in.
It probably will be someday, though.
Someday, maybe, once we get Resistance and all of this other stuff. Maybe some standalone movies.
But there's and again, I think
but there's certainly enough in the Clone Wars.
There is so much content and rich material that they can draw from to make a really compelling army. I mean, holy crap, look at who you've got leading. You've got, Jedi Knight Anakin. You've got General Kenobi. Ahsoka would be a great operative type, let alone the Separatists. Dooku, Grievous, holy crap.
Bring me Kit Fisto.
No.
Just for the name.
No.
Going off of how they've gone so far, where they've mined basically just the 3 movies, with the exception of Wookiee Warriors, they've mined the 3 movies for your units. This means I get to kick me some Gungans soon. So
see, there's
bring
your
it.
5th army.
Let's
guess.
go.
Yeah.
Make them. God, please make them your special forces unit.
They're special, all right.
The bumbling
so
squad,
special, yeah.
right? They're all gonna die.
Oh man, so badly.
No, but I mean, I think the only concern that I have is
concerns. We literally know one thing about it.
I know.
Okay,
but I can look at a droid army and I can tell you how that's gonna run.
Sure.
Right.
Ranks of B1s throwing white dice.
No suppression at all. Bring your ions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Bring your ion weapons. The only thing I might be a little bit worried about is that with the exception of having a lot of Jedis on there that are cheap, cheap lightsaber wielders, that
cheap
because
how dare you?
because essentially clone troopers and stormtroopers are essentially the same, that the Republic faction is going to play very similar to the Empire.
Okay. Well,
that's and again, Jedi generals, which means they're going to be really high costed. Mace Windu, if Mace Windu and Obi-Wan are not 200-point generals like Vader and Palpatine, I think you've got an issue there. Because remember, we have young Luke. We have like brand new. Ooh, look at my shiny glow.
That's fair. Yeah.
Luke, right?
Lol.
LOL.
Yeah. Laser swords.
Look at my laser sword.
Yeah.
So if we get going against General Grievous, General Kenobi, he better be 200 points.
Yeah, I can see
If
that
we
in
get Mace
there.
Windu,
Darth,
Jedi Master, he better be 200 points.
Darth had been leveling up off of younglings for a while, though, so he's a little bit more.
So I'm really worried that, let me put it this way. I'm very intrigued as to how Fantasy Flight is going to make the Republic play differently from the Empire.
I mean, there's going to be some straight analogs in there, like the Magna droids that are going to be like your Imperial Royal Guard.
Right.
Probably have Guardian, Electrostaffs, even Electrostaffs, all that kind of stuff. Clone troopers, I could see. I mean, they
almost
are
one for one for Stormtroopers.
So they might have slightly different special rules,
right?
Instead of like the aim that they get with the.
But I could see
accuracy.
the stat line being.
Yeah, pretty
keywords
close.
will be different, but
sure.
stat line will probably be close to identical.
Yeah, and that's fine.
So
I don't have a problem with that.
I'm just
Basic troops are basic for a reason.
We will be watching their career with great interest.
Great interest.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I mean,
how many points for the Senate do you think?
oh God, the ETs too.
Yeah.
You know,
all the sheaves hitting the board.
do you put Amidala in the game?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you?
Oh yeah.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
And
It's just going to be, is it going to be funky headdress Amidala, or is it going to be like
right,
Clone Wars,
yeah,
battle, combat, cotton?
Do you get Captain
outfit.
Panaka in there?
I mean, you
could.
could.
Yeah.
I mean,
what do you...
that's not really Republic, though. That's
right.
Naboo.
Yeah,
so
true.
Naboo will be the 6th faction.
Right.
We're going to have air speeders with bop gunners in the back.
Ooh, that'd be so fun.
And pilots that fail to deploy grappling hooks accurately. Did you see that? They have behind the scenes just the fails of them trying to get the grappling hook effect to
really?
go on. Yeah.
I still want to know why there's a child-sized helmet in the N1 fighter for Anakin to wear.
What is
Did
that?
you ever notice that?
Hydrocephalic, whatever, the big waterhead
Yeah,
babies.
yeah.
That's what happened there.
Why is there a child-sized
Camera
helmet in
tricks.
the fighter jet? Makes no sense.
Why was there 100 droid control ships in the beginning of the movie and only 1 at the end?
Well, because George Lucas is a terrible screenwriter. That's why.
But hey, he came up with some cool toys.
He sure
And
did.
we get to play with them. Soon.
Yeah. All right. So anyways, that's pretty much everything from Gen Con.
Yeah. What would you be excited to see on the table? Is it droidicas?
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be droidicas. Sorry,
like,
that's the end there.
Like the droid army looks, just the concept of a droid army. Yeah. Oh man, and it.
I want to have new gun ray.
It's not droid army because now you come up with the now you have a trooper unit that can fly.
Oh, the ARC
Geonosians.
troopers. Oh, the Geonos. Oh, yeah. If you want to do that, yeah. It's not just droids.
Right.
I'm sure that's
it's
what
separatists.
We'll see. B1s, B2s,
right.
droidicas.
Yeah.
And then...
So, SBDs, super battle droids, all of that. So, that's probably going to be your first special
commando
forces
droids.
units, something like that. It's easy to look at droid army as you're going to be your main unit, but just all of the mechanics that it adds in there.
I want to have Kenobi on a Varactyl. Oh, that would be so cool.
It'll go with your Tauntaun cavalry.
Yeah, there
they
you
can
go.
just kick each other to death.
Hello there.
But I mean, there's. I wonder what they're going to do for vehicles. Because a lot of the vehicles that we see in the movies and in the Clone Wars are a much larger scale than what we have.
fair.
Because lengthwise,
Okay.
the ATST is only like 7 meters. It's not big.
I think
the
they could
airspeeder isn't. And you look at a lot of the things that were in at least the movies.
Yeah.
You've got the Juggernaut, which is like 21 meters.
Oh yeah,
long.
it wouldn't be anything.
No
like
way
that.
that's fitting.
But I mean, we saw in Rebels like a direct size comparison between the AT-ATs and like what is it, the AT-RTs that the clones used.
Right.
Literally like a third of the size.
I'm sure you'll see AT-RTs.
I think that would be pushing the upper limits of what we could put on
Hailfire
the table.
droids are big.
Spider droids for
maybe.
so they're pretty big.
Yeah.
The ones with the wonky wheels that spin around all crazy.
I think it's the Hailfire droid.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
thank you.
But they're all big.
Yeah,
they're all out of Legion scale. So unless they
we'll
do some finagling to get it in under size, there's not a lot of small vehicles out there. Hell, I'm still.
I mean, so they had the B1s flying around on the little skimmer guys with the guns.
Yeah.
So
Thank you. You'll get Staps, sure.
That'll probably be in the base box, though.
Right, exactly. But there's your analog. I mean, there's a
Speeder bikes,
1-to-1 analog with speeder bikes. How do you
Probably
make
won't
those
be
different?
as fast.
Probably not.
Probably speed 2.
Yeah, it's still a compulsory move.
Yeah.
I'm still, other than the oppressor tank that was in Rogue One in Jeddah City, I still don't know what they're going to do for more vehicles for what we have now, because you're kind of running out of stuff.
Have faith, young Padawan.
Yeah, I know.
There are many, many books out there with many, many things.
I'm sure there are,
Yeah.
but they've been pulling directly from the source material, right? Those original 3 movies. So.
Yeah, and that's what they said they were going to do first,
Right.
and now they're spinning it out and getting some more interesting stuff in there. But I'm very happy for that announcement.
Absolutely.
I'm very excited to see the game this time next year, because all they said was 2019, right?
Right. So we don't know when. I wouldn't expect to see it for another year.
Yeah.
At least another year.
So we'll probably start seeing preview articles next week.
Right? Right. Although, I mean, they did go from announcing to release of Legion in 6 months.
It was, maybe a little shorter than that.
But the thing they're going to have to do, they're not going to be able to do a release a month to catch up, because people are going to want to put. I mean, the last thing FFG needs to do is give me a starter set, and then expansions of just units that's in the starter set of Separatists and Republic, and then I'm going against a fully tooled up Imperial or Rebel army.
Oh, you hope they would be balanced.
You would hope they would be balanced.
Sure, you might not be able
They're
to fine-tune
going to have
as
to
much.
release a much more expanded line on initial release than...
We'll see.
Or get it out quick.
Yeah.
Because people aren't going to want to go up against Commandos, Han, Leia, Chewie,
that's an
Wookiees,
interesting point, yeah. I'm sure they're probably considering that.
With, look, because on release of the game, you had 4 units, right?
Yeah.
So, and one of those was a commander. So,
well, I've got the real bombshell question for you.
Okay.
What do you think the barricades are going to look like in the new set?
Oof. Very retro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very, very...
Something at home in the fields of Naboo.
Because the barricades we have now are a product of their times.
Yeah.
Really. They're kind of ratty,
a simpler,
and
more
run
innocent
down.
barricade.
Right.
From,
This is going to be more elegant. Much more elegant barricades.
Something Paul Harvey could be proud to call barricade.
And they're probably going to be green.
Yeah.
Because everything in the trilogy was green screen.
Everything was so green.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what it's going to be. It's just going to be a companion app that lets you project digital barricades onto the battlefield.
It's going to be CG barricades. Okay.
There it is. There it is.
Well, thanks everybody for hanging out and chatting with us today.
Yeah, and
if
John,
you were chatting,
John
we
will
heard
be
you.
back. Yeah. We were talking at you, not with you in this. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and we do appreciate your time, and make sure you give us some feedback on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Legion Outriders.
Yep.
Twitter, we also have @Legion Outriders, and that's really all there is to say. It's a lot of stuff, man. I'm excited. I'm really excited for. I tell you what, man. Interest was maybe even for me was starting to flag a little bit.
I mean, it's been kind of the same builds for a while now.
This is the shot in the arm of the game, dude. So I'm really excited. So,
but hopefully you're all excited too, and yeah.
Anyways, folks, so that's our episode, and I'm Josh. He's Matt. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one, folks.
Bye, Outriders.
You've been listening to the Legion Outriders podcast, a member of the Radio Free Tatooine Network.
Only now, at the end, do you understand?
For more from the Outriders, make sure you like us on Twitter @Legion Outriders, subscribe to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Legion Outriders, and make sure you like and subscribe to the podcast. Thanks for listening.
You're all clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing and go home.